What's up, bro? Thanks for having me on, man.
Dude, thanks for
As always, I'm on my phone as soon as we start. But let's do it, man.
Yeah.
Make sure I'm talking into the mic and everything.
Yeah, you know how a microphone works.
I do know how a microphone works.
You've spoken to a couple microphones before.
Yeah.
No, it was funny having other people on who like recorded stuff before. They knew how to do it, and then other people would kind of like put the microphone up above their face.
And you got like, make sure you speak into the mic probably every like couple seconds.
But yeah, dude, go ahead and introduce yourself. We're here in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm here live with.
My name is Jared Krumm. I'm a singer, songwriter, artist, producer, comedian in my head. I haven't done comedy in real life yet, but I don't know. I'm a pretty silly guy.
You're definitely going to laugh when he's around. Memorable character, to say the least.
I'm definitely trying to like gauge how out of pocket I should be on something like this. You know, I'm gonna keep it cool.
Right.
The moment presents itself, then I'll be my full self. But
exactly.
I'm gonna be very well behaved today because trying to give you the good stuff, not the bad stuff.
As in or out of pocket as you'd like to be, but yeah, I know a little bit about your background. But for I guess people who don't know, you come from Pennsylvania, Philly.
Yeah, so I'm from PA, like 45 minutes outside of Philly. I'm from Bucks County. The area is called. Eric's calling me. Your last guest.
That's hilarious.
I gotta ignore that for now. But yeah, I'm from Bucks County, PA. I started making music at like 13, 14 in my bedroom. And, kind of took me from there to Atlanta.
Nice.
I live in Atlanta right now. I'm actually on my way out of Atlanta. I'm heading to LA end of June to continue the journey. But the LA Dodgers set, let's go, bro.
Yeah, I know you're leaving. This is the last kind of season here, spring, summer.
Yeah, the end of an era.
Right. It's been a great era. What kind of things did moving out of your hometown do for you in the music space? So
moving out pretty much, I know the first time anybody leaves home, if they do leave their hometown, which a lot of people don't do it, but I feel like in the industry that we're in general, it's kind of unavoidable because you're not from Atlanta either. You're from Cali, but it was an adjustment for sure. I mean, all I ever knew was pretty much like my area in Philadelphia. I spent, the first, when did I move? I was 21. I spent the first like 21 years of my life in, Philly. I mean, I would come on trips for a couple weeks at a time when I first signed to move around and, take meetings and work with different artists and just get in sessions outside of my home state. But really, it was a whole switch up. I mean, I signed my first deal with a company called Team Exclusive. Shout out to Woe. We're still with him to this day. He was the first person that ever, took a chance on us and saw talent in my cousin and I. So we signed to him in maybe not 2021. Maybe it was like 2020. I know it was earlier, but we signed to him. We were based out of Philly with him. And then he's like, Atlanta's where it's at. Like, we got to get you guys to Atlanta. Like, that's where all the motion's at. So we started, coming down here and taking trips. And it came to a point where when we finally signed our deal with Sony and Teron Thomas and Ray Daniels about a year later, they were all out here. So, it made sense to come out. Right. So, yeah, man, the move, like, it was interesting. So we had talked about getting a place, and then Woe had gotten in like a 3-bedroom apartment for everyone to come out. It was supposed to be me, Jake, him, and his partner Money. So I ended up coming out first because I was in a point where I was like, I'm tired of being in Philly. Like, I'm ready to get out into Atlanta and be there full time, like dive into the sessions and all that. So I moved, and I moved there before anybody did. So I moved into an empty apartment, 3200 Atlantic, actually right up the street from where we're at now. So it's crazy. But yeah, I moved into a completely empty apartment, no furniture, nothing. I brought, actually I didn't even bring an air mattress. I brought like a really big suitcase and a carry-on. My boy J-Ron, who's another fire songwriter, shout out J-Ron. He lives out here. He had an air mattress, so I was able to bring an air mattress in. But other than that, bro, I had the clothes that I brought down here. I had an air mattress in one of the bedrooms of the apartment, and then I think we went to Walmart the day I moved in, and I got like the essentials, but it was nothing, bro. Like, and like I was like, damn, like I definitely rushed this shit because I'm out here by myself, but I think I needed that. We were very comfortable in Philly, and I needed that shock to, really get out here and figure things out. We had signed to Sony, but we really hadn't started like moving and getting in different sessions and working with different artists to the full extent yet. And that's what Atlanta was for me. So yeah, I mean, I moved out here. It was different, man. I mean, I was away from my friends, my family. My girlfriend at the time was in Philly, so it was different. It was very lonely, but I mean, like I said, me and you talked about this the other day. Like, I feel like comfortability is what kills you. Like, you need to be uncomfortable in order to see growth. So, it was a fresh start, a fresh page. But, as I started to be out here more and get into sessions, it felt more and more like home. And then eventually my cousin joined me.
Right.
Jakey Krumm, baby.
Shout out the Krumm Club, the other members there.
Yeah, he joined me down here, and then Woe never made it down here for more than a week at a time. Woe stayed in Philly. They ended up building their whole own thing there. They built a whole label. I mean, shout out them though. They did their thing. But I mean, yeah, we ended up staying down here, and as things went, we landed more and more placements, which led to the Grammy nomination with Muni Long and the Flow placement and the Billboard charting song. So, this is where we pretty much got established. I mean, we're still, I don't want to sound like I'm looking back on memories. We're still like extremely new to the industry. We're only about 3 years in, I'd say professionally at this point, like being in a deal and kind of understanding how it works. But I mean, yeah, we're kind of at the point now where the ball is rolling and we're tapped in with a lot of cool people as far as artists, producers, and writers go. So
came a long way from just kind of like $1 in a dream and a
literally, bro, like
grocery trip.
I mean, bro, I started by myself before Jake and I were even a duo in my bedroom.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about that. So a lot of artists might start in their bedroom, but then they never graduate from the bedroom and kind of get an opportunity to get signed. And so when you started making music kind of initially, what was the inspiration for that? And then how do you take that experience and then get yourself into a position where you can move to Atlanta, can come to make music kind of more professionally?
That's a loaded question, but it's definitely like for anyone like watching and like wondering how they can do it themselves, it's not a straight path and there's no right or wrong way to do it. You just got to do it. It's very like all over the place. But nah, I mean, I've always liked music. Like I always played instruments and stuff growing up. Like I made little YouTube videos of me singing like Justin Bieber and stuff on YouTube. Like, I was probably like 9 or 10 years old. Like I always knew I liked music, and early on I had a piano in the house, so I knew I had somewhat of a knack for it. It was never sports. I was never good at sports. Music was something I caught on to pretty early. I'd write little songs and stuff. But fast forward a couple years, around 13 or 14, one of my childhood friends, he was actually a senior in high school, my boy RJ, him and his friends were rapping. And they're like, yeah, man, like we're recording songs and we're going to put them out. And I was like, oh, that's sick. Like I'm a singer. Like this is what I always wanted to do. Like, let's go record some music. So I pulled up to his house, and it was a laptop with a USB mic and a pair of Turtle Beaches. So we recorded all of our songs on an Xbox headset.
That's amazing.
Like the same headset you play Call of Duty with on Xbox Live. Like that's what we recorded with. And yeah, that's how we started. And then
that was your first time ever on a mic?
On a mic,
wow.
Yeah. My first time ever recording was on a laptop with a USB headset on. And I was like, dude, to me, it was like the coolest thing. Like I wasn't even looking at it like, oh, like I didn't know what an actual setup was. So I just saw it. I'm like, this is sick. Like I'm able to like put on this beat and we can record and I can hear myself. Like this is awesome, bro. Right. So we started doing that. Fast forward, I got the same setup in my room.
Xbox setup?
For a little bit. And then, I quickly learned that there's better options than the Xbox headset to record songs. But nah, I mean, we started that way. I eventually learned a little bit more about it. I got my own gear. I got studio monitors. I got a mixer. I got an actual mic. I set up in my room. I actually ripped out my closet doors and took out my closet. So I had one of those like big sliding closets in my room. And I was like, this is my studio. So I ripped it out. Like I put like a little desk in there. So that's when I really started dabbling. I started with GarageBand. I figured out all that stuff. And by senior year, I was definitely a decent writer. By senior year. I never really enjoyed the process of learning how to record and use auto-tune and, you know, pitch correction and make everything sound like polished. Like that's the part I didn't like. So I kind of never, I always half-assed that. Like I would record songs and put them out. And I mean, I would make the beats and stuff myself too, but I was never in love with the hands-on part. I always loved the songwriting part and like the process of recording. So I only got, I mean, I was definitely getting better, but I only got so far into the actual like production and engineering process. But I like, you know, I got good at the writing stuff.
Right, yeah.
And then
that's what you were good at. That's kind of where you were happy.
Yeah,
doing.
that's what naturally like I decided I liked. And then, you know, this whole time while I'm doing that, I'm about 18 by this age. My little cousin Jake is a town over from me, and you know he's dabbling in music, but he started out on like the production side. Like he started making beats, and keep in mind like Jake was like 12.
Wow, yeah,
like 11 or 12, just messing around making beats in the basement. And I mean, he had his like first couple years where he learned how to use this, like the softwares and got better at it. And then it came to a point where like, you know, we're me and Jake are cousins, but we were never super close. And then our like, you know, we would see each other at the family events and stuff. And he's like, yo, he's like, I'm making music now. Like we should work together. I was like, yeah, like why not? Like that'd be cool.
Family connection, like
yeah. And like he would show me stuff he recorded. I'm like, this sounds like incredible. Like this sounds better than what I'm recording. Like if I can write some songs and have him like, you know, throw it on his beats and record me, like this will be crazy. So I mean, long story short, sorry, my throat's drying up.
Oh, you're good. You're good.
Long story short, we linked up, and from the first day we worked together, that was like it.
Right.
Like
the chemistry was there.
Yeah. I mean, I don't remember what it was like as far as chemistry wise when we first started, but we both kind of had like a natural understanding for how a song should be, like I guess like structure wise. But I mean, yeah, as far as I can remember, we've always had good chemistry. I mean, I don't remember like the first initial session, but like he just loaded up beats and I'm like, yo, this is sick. I'm like, can I record something on this? And he would punch me in and I'll do something cool on it. And then he would come to me like with these like melodic rap hooks that he would do on his own. And I'm like, bro, like this is incredible. Like this is about to take everything to the next level. So like,
we can blow up.
Yeah, like literally like it was one of those moments. Like as soon as we got him, like, dude, like, you know, every time like I feel like in music you link with someone that like is like super talented and like you guys vibe from the jump. It's always like, oh, like we're about to like, this is about to be some crazy shit. It's, you have little moments like that as you go, but that was like our first like initial moment. And, you know, Jake and I have been working together since then. You know, at the time I was 18, so Jake's 5 years younger than me. So yeah, Jake was like 13 years old.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy to look back on now too, but it's like, yeah, we just started going from there, and you know, we got better and better, and you know, we were both artists, and we put music out, and then we started moving around Philly, and then we met the manager we have now, and he was like, you guys are dope. We caught his attention.
Where'd you guys meet? Where'd you meet the manager?
So at the time, there was an artist in Jake's DM that was like, yo, like you should come down to the city. And I think like she was an artist. She was like, you should help write some stuff. And we're like, you know, we're like, all right, like, you know, let's just go. Like, this is a real recording studio. Like, let's go and like, let's see what it is. So, well, actually they hit Jake initially. Just Jake was supposed to go and work with some artists, and Jake, you know, was like 13.
Right. He's like,
and it was like, yo, like, you know,
can't
like
drive.
Yeah, can't
like,
drive.
Can't
at the same time,
like
my aunt was never going to let him go by himself into Philadelphia at that age with nobody with him. So he's like, yeah, he's like, come with. And we ended up going. That was like our first experience in like a real recording studio. We weren't even in the A room. We were in like the little side pocket B room, but we went to link with this artist, and we were playing our own music that we had been working on together, like, you know, for the last couple of years.
That's like your first time listening to it in big studios.
Yeah.
How did that feel? Like
that was sick. I mean, you know, it's always dope to hear yourself like on big like professional speakers, but it was the fact that they were people in the studio that were around, like that worked in the studio, and we were playing our stuff, and they're like, these guys were like, this is you guys, like this is incredible, like who is this? And I never forget, there's a guy, his name is Boots Green. I don't know if he still works there, but shout out to Boots Green. So the studio I'm talking about is Breed in Philadelphia. It's right next to School of Rock, I think. But he was like, yo, like you guys are dope, like who were you signed to? And me and Jake are like, signed to? Like, we make music in the basement. We're not signed to anybody. And like, he's like, you guys are dope. Like, I got to put you in contact with this guy. I think he can help you. And, you know, that us pulling up to that session to help write ended up being that for us. So, you know, the next couple weeks we were working with that artist still, but, you know, we were moving around Philly, but we ended up hearing back from like the Boots guy. He's like, yo, like I finally got him on the phone. Like, this is 3 weeks later, and we were kind of on standby to meet this guy because he was down here. He was in Atlanta a lot doing stuff, and he's like, yeah, I want you to meet this guy. Like, you know, I really think he can help you. And finally, he's like, after weeks, he's like, I got him to take a meeting, you know, because from his side, because like this as well, by the way, that I mentioned earlier, he was in Atlanta trying to get stuff started with like, because keep in mind, this is 2019, this is during COVID. So he was trying to get stuff started with like live streaming concerts and stuff like that during the pandemic, like figuring stuff out, because Atlanta was a lot more active than Philly was at the time. Right. So he wasn't really looking to sign new artists and stuff like that. He was trying to build something on that, but he's like, I guess I'll go. So long story short, he came, he listened to us and was like, we sat in a room full of like 11 people. I love telling this story because this is like the story of how me and Jake got our first break. But like, we're in a room full of like 11 people, and it's just me and Jake sitting there in the corner, and everyone's playing their music. He's kind of just sitting there, like no reaction. And then it was all like rap / like R&B stuff. And then I remember going up, I plugged in my phone to the aux. I'm like, and we're nervous because I mean, not to discredit Woe and where he was at the time, but like, you know, he was just a guy looking to sign artists, but we thought he was like Jay-Z at the time. Like, this guy's going to change our whole life. Like, we thought he was like the bigger thing because at the time, like, we didn't know anybody. So I plug in and I'm nervous. Like, my heart's beating. I hit play on the first song that I have, and I see him stand up out of his chair and start pacing. And I'm like, all right, like, let's go. Like, this is it. And then I pause it. He's like, play another song. I play. He's pacing again. He's like, play another song. He's like, oh my God. And then I'm like, Jake's going to play some songs. Jake comes up. Jake plays some stuff. He's pacing. He's going crazy. And he runs out of the room. And everyone is like, what the fuck is going on? Like, everyone's waiting for their chance to play music. And, I mean, no disrespect to them, but no one else in that room that day got to play any more music. After we played our stuff, it was like,
he's like, session's done. This is what I came here for.
Yeah, it was game over. And he's already like making phone calls to people he knows in the industry. And he's like, wait a second. He's like, I got to stop myself. Like, I got to get these kids like on paperwork first. I'm about to just making all these phone calls. He's like, I got like the best thing I've heard in a while in the room. So long story short, he pulls us out of the room. He explains what he did, like what he does and like what he has done in the industry. He FaceTimed our parents to, you know, kind of explain like what his role is, what he's interested in doing for us. And, you know, from there, we got negotiation. We ended up signing a deal with him. And then, from there, you know, we were signed to him for about a year before he got us a deal with Sony. And, you know, along with Teron Thomas, big songwriter, Teron Thomas, sorry. I always say it the wrong way. With Teron Thomas and Ray Daniels. And, you know, the rest is like, you know,
kind of history.
I don't want to say history yet because we got so much to do. But
exactly.
Yeah,
I mean, the beginning, the origin story.
Yeah, this is how everything got going and led us to where we're at present day career wise. But yeah, I mean, it's interesting how everything kind of connects with that, you know.
And you never know, like when someone hits you up to go somewhere, kind of that first experience. You know, Jake just going to the studio, he must have been posting stuff on Instagram or just putting stuff out. You know, like. You never know what might happen when someone hits you up for stuff.
Yeah, and I'm glad you circled back to that because that's something I was going to bring up while I was saying that. It's like when you're first starting out, take every single opportunity. Like, it doesn't matter what it is. Like when you're first, I mean, I think you should do this as long as you can until you're at a point where you can pick and choose sessions. But like when you're starting out, do everything, because if Jake and I didn't go to those random sessions in the city, we wouldn't have met Woe. We wouldn't have came to Atlanta. We wouldn't have gotten our deal with Sony, like, et cetera, all that. It's like, take every opportunity because you never know where it's going to lead. Like, even after we had signed our deal with Sony, I mean, like, people think you sign a deal and you skyrocket. It's like, there's a lot of groundwork that goes into this after you sign your deal. And even after we signed our deal with Sony, you know, a lot of sessions we were doing back in Philly, and even some of the sessions out here were like, you know, they were kind of bullshit. I mean, the artists weren't either serious about what they were doing or they weren't talented, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, I feel like through those shitty sessions that we didn't want to go to or we didn't enjoy, we always met somebody in those sessions that had a door open to another situation or another opportunity. And it's like if it wasn't for us taking that early on, and we still do sessions like that no matter what, because you never know who is gonna be who knows who, or I mean, if that person you're working with might become like one of your favorite people to work with. It's like you never know what's gonna open, so it's like always take those sessions. You know,
right. That's a really good point. When you were talking about working on your songwriting craft, I wanted to ask. Yeah, shout out Celsius, always good.
I'm not sponsored. Give me a brand deal, baby.
But yo, we definitely require some Celsius. But when you're working on songwriting, how do you get better at songwriting? Because you said when you first started, that was the part you loved. Is it volume, or how do you improve the quality of your songwriting? What kinds of inspirations or is there a process that you have for writing songs?
I mean, I'm about to blow your mind. Ready?
Yes.
The one thing you can do to get better at writing, write.
Gotcha.
Literally, write. Like, I can't stress it enough. Like, it's the same thing as going to the gym and working out consistently and building muscles. It's the same thing with songwriting. You need to be doing it as much as you can, because you got to get through all the bad songs to get to the good ones. And even now, it's like we get in the studio, let's say we do 3-4 songs in a session, all 4 might suck, but tomorrow we could do another 4 and one of those 4 is great. Or maybe we have 3 in one day that are awesome and they get placed, or they're just great songs that we have in the tuck. It's like you just got to write and write and write and write, like literally like as consistently as possible, because the only way you start to get better is just by doing it. Right. Like, I mean, keep in mind, like, I signed my first like major publishing company deal with Sony at 21, but I was writing songs at 14 consistently for years, 14 through 21. I mean, I'm not a math guy. I don't know the math on that. Was that 7 years?
7 years, yeah.
Yeah, it's like I was writing for 7 years before I even got considered enough to be talented enough for a deal. And even from there, I wasn't an amazing writer. I'm still not the best writer in the world. I mean, I'm decent. I'm good at something to have,
You got some accolades.
Yeah, to get into where we're at now. But I mean, bro, you just gotta write. Like, that's the thing people don't get. There's no shortcuts. There's no tricks. There's no anything. You just have to write. And also, you said what?
No, I was gonna say, when you first started, is it on pen and paper, or is it kind of voice recordings? When you think about writing songs, how much of it is kind of intuition, freestyle versus?
Everybody's different. I mean, I was definitely always a pen and paper kind of person. So, I mean, I've been writing songs, really looking back at it now, since I was like 10 or 11 years old, because I played piano as a young kid, and I used to write songs on loose leaf paper, and I would write like verse, chorus, and I'm sure that they were all shit songs, but like I was writing them and I was doing them on loose leaf, and I used to sit on the piano bench to play my electric or play like the wall piano in my house, and I used to just slide the loose leaf under the piano bench and close it. Like, it was a little compartment in there. So I've been doing it since then, but my process has always been pen on paper. And then when these guys got more advanced, I mean, once the Notes app became like a regular thing, like I do everything in Notes. Like, I probably have over like 5,000 notes in the cloud and growing, because I mean, I do everything in here. I don't do pen and paper anymore, but that was like my style. And to circle back to what you said, I mean, a lot of writers will go to the mic and will just lay melodies and be like, oh, that's cool, and then they'll come up with the lines as they go and punch in on the mic. It's like a freestyle approach. I never worked like that. I was always like, came up with melodies. I do everything in voice memos now, but when I like the first like 3 years in the industry, I did everything in Snapchat memories. I don't know why.
Really?
But I would literally go to my Snapchat, and if I had a cool melody I liked, I would literally like hold record, sing it, and then I would save it to my memories. So I'd have a couple memories like in my thing. I would swipe it up and I would scroll through them and look at them when it came time to put words. It's always melody first for me. And then you fit lyrics within the melody. But I mean, I'm just notes and that. But like I said, some people go line for line. I developed like a hybrid of that when I came out here, because a lot of people that I worked with were going to the mic and punching in like, line for line. And like sometimes you don't always have the time to sit there and write. Like, if you want to land lines on the song, you got to just kind of like learn how to be quicker and throw stuff. So I did that for a while with them, but I developed like a hybrid now where I'll have the producer that I'm working with. It's usually Jake or Hooli. Shout out Hooli Beats. But I'll have them load up the beat, and then I'll put on the headphones and I'll have them punch me in, and I'll just lay a bunch of melodies, and then we'll go through and choose melodies that I like, and then we'll put words on them. So it's like, before I wouldn't even go to the mic and lay melodies. I would just come up with the melodies, record them on my phone, and sit there and write the whole song, and then we go up and do it. But now it's like a hybrid where like I'll lay melodies, pick melodies, and put words to them. So it's like I found what worked for me, and the only way to find what works for you is just by doing it.
Right.
Circle back to the right, and be open to criticism, because chances are you're not the best writer in the world, and if someone doesn't like something, I mean, pick and choose who you're listening to, but I mean, for the most part, like if someone doesn't like something, or like the best person to listen to is like your friend, because if your friend Bob is like, I don't think this is good, chances are Bob's right, because Bob's the
end customer.
Bob's the customer listening to music in the car. So if Bob doesn't think something's good, I mean, chances are you got to go back to the drawing board and try again. So it's like you just got to be open to criticism, because you don't know everything. Chances are you're not the best writer in the world, and if you want to get better, it's a mixture of practice, but with feedback. If you keep practicing the wrong thing, you're not going to get better. If you get feedback and someone says, like, I get what you're trying to say, but maybe you can make it clearer. Like, I don't understand what the concept is, or like I wouldn't word it that way, or I just don't understand what you're saying. It's like, take everything in. Take everything in and like, build from that. But it all roots back to just doing it, and doing it, and doing it.
Of course. When you first got started, it sounded like a little bit of hip hop, a little bit of pop. Now, where is your pocket with regards to your songwriting, production, music? Where would you say is your favorite place to work and record?
So when I first started, I wanted to be a rapper. And that's what my boy RJ was doing, and his friends, they were all trying to rap. And I was like, fuck yeah, like I want to be a rapper. And thank God I wanted to be a rapper when I started, because I accredit a lot of that to why I write so good, because I was always trying to write like cool rap songs and come up with cool concepts and flows and stuff like that. But I was recording rap songs, and I'm like, I just didn't sound right. Like I sounded like a little white kid with a lisp, and I just didn't. I don't have like a cool voice. So it's like, I was like, all my friends were like, why are you rapping, bro? Like you can sing. Like you should just sing instead. Like you sound stupid. So that kind of put
Bob was like, your rap sucks.
Yeah, I mean pretty much, because everyone's like, dude, like you're not a rapper, and like keep in mind the lyrics were good. At least I like to think they were good, but I mean that's what got me heavily involved in the lyric aspect. But yeah, it was a starting with rap for sure, and then it came to pop. And then once I started working with Jake and I could record at good quality, it was all pop music. Like all I was doing in that basement for 3 years, like before we signed our deal with anybody and we were just making music, it was all pop music. Jake started with rap music, and Jake had like a crazy voice. So for some reason it just worked for Jake. Like even if Jake wasn't saying anything, like, because if you go back to Jake's first couple songs, which they're still out there on distribution, on Apple and stuff, they're fire, bro. He's like 13 and he sounds like not a grown man, but he sounds like a teenager with a good rap voice. That's like, he's got crazy flows. I mean, he wasn't always saying like stuff, but it just sounded good. So like Jake could do the rap part. So that's what he started with, and then we both met in the middle with pop. Or I was always doing pop, and then Jake got inspired to kind of transition from the rap stuff to the pop stuff, and then him and I just both did pop. And like to this day, that's our favorite genre to do. Like we both love pop, but I mean, in the first couple years being signed, all we did really, like for the most part that we had access to, was R&B and rap music. Especially being in Philly, we work with a lot of the Philly talent and a lot of the rappers out there. We work with a lot of the rappers and talent out in Atlanta, and then of course R&B. I mean, Atlanta is a great place for R&B, so that's where we kind of found traction. So when we weren't working on stuff for ourselves or just making songs for fun, it was always like rap stuff or R&B stuff. Jake's always had a different relationship with rap than me. I do like rap stuff. Jake and I have somewhat different taste in rap music. I was always like a classic, like J. Cole, like Kanye, Kendrick, like, which Jake likes them too, but Jake found love for, like a different side of rap. Like, Jake loves Yeet. Jake likes Yeet.
Yeah.
Like Playboy Cardi. Like, I don't want to put them all in the same realm because it's all different styles, but Jake like fell in love with like a different style of rap that I never really like enjoyed personally in my own taste. But Jake was out there recording songs like that, like with his voice, and they sound fucking sick. So like,
right.
There's so much different things. I could talk for hours about like just dabbling in different things, but yeah, like pop has always been the thing. Found success in R&B. Our first big placements, the Muni Long album, the Flow project.
Yeah, tell me a little bit about that.
R&B.
Yeah, so R&B, Muni Long and Flo Milli, right? Or
Flow. Just FLO. Yeah, they're a girl group from the UK. They're killing it right now.
That's awesome. How do you go from kind of first moving into Atlanta to then those first placements? What is that timeline like? Because the studio session, the laying down of the tracks, the recording it, there's probably so much time in between that and it getting released, and then any sort of awards or anything that comes later.
Yeah, so pretty much 99% of this game is going into the studio and making a bunch of songs that are never going to come out.
Right.
That's pretty much all it is. It's like people see like people going on crazy Billboard #1 runs and having like top hits and accepting awards. 99% of this game is sitting in the studio, not always forcing, but like, trying to get good ideas and trying to get good songs, and they never come out. So you never really know who you're making music for unless you're working with the artist. But from a songwriter producer perspective, a lot of the time you're just making references to send out. So for those watching that don't know what a reference track is pretty much a song that you record with your own voice. It could be like scratch vocals. It's not a finished product, just an idea with lyrics that you then send to the artist, and if they like it, then the artist records it. And then, it becomes a finished product. But most of it is just sitting down in the studio and coming up with songs, and a lot of them don't come out. Like, when we did like the song that became the song that came out on the Muni Long project, it's called Played Yourself. We were just working with T-Ron a couple days a week in the studio, and we were just making good music with him, and a lot of it doesn't come out. But that song in particular, he sent it out, and then I think we made that song in like 8 months later. Like it was like you don't really think about it. Like 8 months later, we heard he's like, oh, by the way, that one song we did, blah blah, this is the name of it. Muni Long is gonna cut it and put it on her album, and we're like, sick, like. This is awesome because it's like, especially when you're first starting out, you're not getting consistent placements. It's like very much a battle to land songs. Unless you're in the room with the artist, chances are you're not really landing songs by just pitching them out. But that was one of our first big, like, okay, like this is going to be dope. Like this is a bigger artist. She's super talented, has a crazy history herself as a writer. And, we landed a song on her project. And that was it. Like we're like, okay, cool. Like it's gonna come out. Then when it came out, I mean, the project did well, obviously, but we started hearing from the building we're working in. Like Muni Long's probably gonna get nominated for a Grammy. I'm like, what do you mean? They're like, oh, like she's really like on the rise as an artist. She's already laid her groundwork as a writer. She's kind of really popping off this year as an artist. She had 2 really big songs. She had Hours and Hours, and what's the other one called? I forget the other one. There's one that's actually popping off now on Billboard from the same album that we did called Superpowers. But yeah, like she had a very big year. And like, yeah, like you're probably going to get a Grammy nom. And we're like, what? Like, what do you mean we're going to get like, yeah, like
I don't hear anything from you for 8 months, and next thing you know, it's like,
yeah, I mean, it wasn't exactly like that,
Not
but,
like
totally, yeah, they're like, yeah, like you guys are probably going to get a Grammy nom for this. And then, November comes out, and they announced the nominations, and we're nominated for R&B Album of the Year. And we're like, it's weird. It's like, you think you'd be super, like, I mean, we were very excited, but at the same time, it's like, what the fuck? Like, what do you mean we're nominated for? Because it's like, bro, you do so much work, and you do so many songs that don't come out, and it's like, you get so used to learning not to watch your work, which is a big thing. I preach, don't watch your work, because a lot of these songs you're doing, you're going to make them, and just move on. Because if you stress about whether these songs are getting the right people or are being heard by the right people, or are they gonna come out? You're gonna wear yourself to death. So it's like you just make a song and you keep moving. But you know, one of these songs came back, but you know, we get, like I said, we get stuck in the same mindset where it's like, just keep moving along, and we're then finding out that something we participated in is gonna get nominated. What is nominated for a Grammy?
Right, yeah.
And we're just like, we were excited, but it's just like, what the fuck? That was our first, like, I think our first, like, feeling of, like, oh, shit, like, you know, like, this shit does work. Like, because,
right.
like, as a
work
writer.
Is paying off. Like,
yeah.
all those hours in the studio. Like,
yeah, exactly.
This is what we're doing this for.
Because, like, as a writer and a producer, it's like, you know, you have long stretches, especially when you're first starting out, where it feels like the shit's impossible. Even after signing a deal, and like you could be working with the biggest writers or producers in the world, or you could have a week where you're working with one of your favorite artists that, you know, you listened to growing up, and then you have long spans where it's like, shit, like, how's this shit gonna work? Like, sometimes it just feels impossible. And then when you find out a song you did 8 months ago is like Grammy-nominated, you're like, shit, like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
And then we also found out the same week that the song was on Billboard and hit number 8. Like, we didn't know that as it was on Billboard. Our manager happened to look up the project on Wikipedia and saw that it had a Billboard spot. And was like, oh yeah, by the way, you guys were on Billboard too.
So we started. What does that mean for a songwriter artist? Like, what the importance?
So Billboard is like the chart. Mm-hmm. Like, that is like the biggest chart in the United States. That is like the chart to be on. So if you have something on the Billboard, even the top 200, bro, it's like, you got to think how many artists release songs every week. Mm-hmm. Or every year. It's like, if you're even on the top 200, it's like, that's great. Like, you're in the top, I don't know the math, but
probably 1%.
Yeah, like, you don't just hit Billboard, and then we find out we're number 8. It's like, that shit's crazy.
Top 10 on the Billboard. That's amazing.
And it's like, it's weird to think about, because like, that was our first, like, what felt like a big win to us after going for so long, having, like, you know, cool placements here and there, long stretch without placements, and then we have this. And like, things like that, like, I mean, it was exciting, but it was motivating, because it's like, okay, like, this shit is possible. Mm-hmm. Like, as much as I get in my head thinking it's not gonna work, blah blah, it's like, these little wins are important, because one, like, they're almost reassuring, because it's like, okay, like, I am good at what I do. I am doing the right thing. Maybe it's been a while since I landed a song, but like, we live for moments like this that, you know, give us motivation to go harder, because, you know, once you see that it's possible, it's like, okay, well, let me get 10 more of these fucking these Billboard songs. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just like, they're motivating, man. It's crazy. And, you know, we found out a lot of good news at one time, and I feel like that was a big, like, pick me up. And then we had a whole camp for the Flow album out here in Atlanta, and we did a whole bunch of songs. And one of the songs that came from the room that I worked in, that actually me and my friend Daniel Munoz, he's another writer, we had started this idea in one room. It ended up being the song that they chose from the entire camp to go on the project. And like, we kept hearing for months that the song's coming out. It's a single. It's not a single. It's not on the album. It is on the album. It's like so much back and forth. And then they posted a music video for one of their singles, and they had our song at the end as a snippet. And this is not long after the Muni Long shit. So we're like, damn, like, we're about to get another one. Mm-hmm. I think I have my timeline correct. It was like the end of last year, which 2024, yeah. And we're like, damn, like, we're about to get another one. And then that comes out, and they're like number 1 in the UK. They hit number 1 on Billboard. They're on all these different like charts, because they're not based in the US. So mm-hmm. there's a bunch of different charts in the UK, and like, you know, all that. So we're hitting all these charts in the UK, and the album's doing good, and their fan base is liking it, and it's like, people are commenting about it on their posts, and it's like, shit, like, this is another one. And then, you know, we get to go to the Grammys in February. It's like, all that around the same time was extremely motivating. But at the same time, and like, Jake's not here to speak for himself, but like, we were excited, but we found out that we lost R&B Album of the Year before we went to the awards.
Gotcha.
Because those categories this year were not on TV, because they cut a lot of categories to focus on raising money for the wildfires and all that. So we knew beforehand that we didn't win. And it's like, shit, like, we're about to go sit at the awards. And I mean, like, and this is like the mindset I'm trying to explain right now. Like, we were bummed out about like not winning, and then Jake was like, dude, he's like, take a step back. I was like, what? And he's like, we got nominated for a Grammy, bro. It's like, fuck losing that we didn't win. It's like, we got nominated for a Grammy. Like, we started in the basement, not knowing what the fuck we were doing in the middle of the suburbs, and we're going to the Grammys, and we were nominated. And I was like, damn, like, we might not have won, but it's like that was like a very like surreal feeling. And like, you know, that just goes to show that so many of us in this industry, it's like, we don't stop to process shit. Like, as much as I'm talking about how excited we were when we landed the Flow and the Muni Long and the Grammy nom and all that, it's like, you don't really stop to enjoy it because we're so like, what's next type of people. Like, we're like, okay, we have this, now we want to go there, we want to work here, work with this person. It's like, so it's like, we're at the Grammys, we're on our way, we're depressed because, you know, we found out we lost. And it's like, dude, like, we're at the Grammys, like, let's enjoy it.
Yeah.
Like, we worked hard, we continue to work hard, and it's like, we're gonna leave, and tomorrow we're gonna go back to the studio and keep working. It's like, let's enjoy this for now. And like, you know, after we kind of had that like discussion, like, we were still bummed out because we lost and all that.
But it's not a total loss, you know.
Yeah, I mean, we got to see.
It's like going to the Olympics, you know what I mean?
Exactly, yeah.
And maybe you didn't win gold or place a medal, but you're representing the best group of people in that area for that year. Yeah,
and that was definitely like super motivating for us because like, you know, we're like, okay, we lost. Let's go back next year and fucking win.
Right. Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
We know what it's like to be there. Yeah. And what was it like? Did you get to meet some people while you were there at the Grammy ceremony, or was it kind of?
So yeah, there were a bunch of people there. So unfortunately, the publicist that we got carpet access through this year didn't make it. So we ended up not getting to walk the carpet. We're very new to this stuff. So like, the carpet stuff kind of comes when you're a little further in and you're more established, you know more people. So we were just GA, which is still crazy to be at. But I think what kind of messed in my head and a little bit for Jake is that, you know, when you're starting out, like, it doesn't matter if you're nominated for a Grammy. We sat in the nosebleeds. We're all the way up in the back. And like, we're looking down on the floor and we're seeing all these celebrities at the main tables, like mingling and having drinks and blah, 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 having a good time. And like, you know, like, none of us verbalize it, but in our head, we're like, shit, like,
that's where we're trying to
be. Like,
right?
We're like, fuck this nomination. Like, we got to go back to the studio and lock in. We want to be done here. I don't even
want to sit in the nosebleeds. Put me back in the studio.
Like. Yeah, we're like, we want to be done here. And then, you know, it's like, that was like, it was almost bittersweet. That's how I would describe being at the Grammys, because like, as much as it was like, you know, an example of our hard work paying off and something to celebrate, it's like, it also showed us how much further we still had to go in this shit. And like, you know, it's like, it's a huge accomplishment, but at the same time, it's like, we're just a little drop in the pond.
Right.
Like, there's two ways to look at it. So it's very bittersweet. And I think, you know, it was motivating because, you know, we want to go back and we want to get lower. We want to sit in those floor seats.
Right.
We want to, you know, hopefully come back and be nominated for not one category, but 5.
Right.
And, you know, we're both artists as well. So eventually come back and be nominated as an artist. You know, there's so many different like achievements. It's like, yeah, like I would describe it as just bittersweet, you know?
Yeah. Well, I'm going to check on the cameras real quick and then let's dive into your artistry here.
You've never seen a show like this.
We're back. You're in LA. Bittersweet on this Grammy trip. What kind of other things did you get to work with some artists and?
Yeah. So the Grammys was on a Sunday. Other than the Grammys, we were working every single day. Whether it was at the house, because, you know, Jake already lives out there.
Okay.
So we were like just working at the house, and then we were doing like we were doing multiple sessions. Like we tapped in with a bunch of dope writers and producers. Like we were doing something like nonstop. Like aside from the Grammys, it was all work the entire trip. We tapped in with Bankroll Hayden. Charlie on a Friday was out there. And the rest just a bunch of dope producers and writers. But it was a work trip for sure. Like, I mean, especially only being there for like 5 days. I mean, I ended up extending my flight because there was more to do, but we squeezed as much work in as we could. And that just goes back to say that 99% of this business is sitting in the studio working, because we were there for the Grammys. You know,
but
we got to experience that.
Of your trip, right?
Yeah, it was only 1% of our trip. The rest was work. And, you know, that it's important to stick to that mindset, you know?
When was the first time you went out to LA to work on music?
So I've only been to LA, believe it or not, like 3-4 times.
Okay.
So my first trip out there was last year. Yeah, last year. Sorry, I'm like, everything's a blur.
Right. I mean,
my first trip out there was last year. We went for BET weekend. So it wasn't exactly for work. I kind of just had an opportunity to go out there. You know, my manager and his label had a house for the weekend, and we kind of just went out. And this is before me or Jake lived there. So we were just out there having a good time. But we also worked a lot. We ended up figuring out what artists we could get in with. Different sessions and stuff. But we worked. But that was my first experience out there. It wasn't really a work trip. It was kind of just me like experiencing LA and being there. We went to like BET weekend. We didn't go to the awards, but we went to like all like the events and stuff.
And what is that like? Kind of, because there's one part is the working, right, and being a good songwriter, being a good artist producer. But then the other part is being relatable as a person, being a chill, being cool.
Yeah, it's networking.
Networking.
And building relationships. Yeah, so it's pretty cool. I mean, we went to the Staples Center. And this is where they were having like the BET live performances like the day before the awards, and they had the celebrity basketball game going on in there.
Cool.
It was so crowded though, like everyone was trying to get in the basketball game that we ended up like just kind of staying on the outside, like talking to different execs and upcoming artists and stuff. There was no point in trying to get in the game because we didn't go there for the game, and we were already late, so people were just trying to like push their way in. But it was dope. There was a bunch of cool songwriters and producers, upcoming artists, execs, A&Rs, all that.
How do you interact with the executive people? Like what's their kind of energy, their vibe? Because there's creative people, and then there's creative people on the business side.
You pretty much just walk around and ask them for money.
Really?
No, I'm just kidding. It's different. I mean, usually, if you have a manager, which we do, most people that are even in situations like that have a manager. It's like you pretty much just move around. Your manager will say, hey, like, blah, blah, that's so-and-so over there. I want to introduce you guys. And you walk up, and they'll be like, hey, blah, blah, blah. Like, this is my writer, my producer,
right. So
blah, blah.
There's kind of like a warm intro.
Yeah, it's a warm intro, and you kind of talk to them, and you're like, yeah, like, I see you're working with this artist, or not even that. It's like, you introduce yourself as a writer, producer, your manager usually hypes you up.
Right.
And like, if you have any artists that need stuff, let us know. We'd love to send some tracks, and usually exchange numbers, and then you go from there. I mean, some of them are dead ends. Some of them could be your play for the next 6 months. It's like, you never know. So it's important to really like get out there and just do the networking and stuff. Networking is like, aside from being talented, networking is like the most important thing. I mean, you can be like a very average producer and put put him next to the most incredible producer in the world, but the one that networks and gets himself into the situations is the one that wins.
Right.
It's like, it's a little messed up, but it's true. It's like, you can be super talented, but if you're not tapping in with new people and trying to get in different situations, it's like, where's the music going to go? It's going to sit in your phone, So networking is super important. And it's like, yeah, you meet these guys, you get their numbers, and then a lot of them will send stuff to say, hey, I have this new artist. We just signed him here. He needs this kind of records, and you start from there. And you build relationships. Sometimes it could be the beginning of like a forever relationship with this person. It's like, this person has access to all these artists. You start to get wins together with them artists, and then you kind of come together and do other ventures. It's like, you never know.
It goes back to what you said earlier. Like, you're at that point in your career where as many opportunities as you can take, go ahead.
Yeah, take everything. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It all circles back for sure.
And then now I wanted to ask, because one of my favorite songs of yours, My Oh My, I mean, absolutely incredible. Your
Thank
music,
you, bro.
man.
Yeah, so, I mean,
tell me about that song. If anyone hasn't heard it yet, definitely go.
So I have a song called My Oh My Out by Jared Krumm. It's a very depressing song. It's the kind of song you sit in the bathtub with the lights off and just close your eyes and listen to. But no, I mean, you know, I definitely, as a writer, I like, you know, as a person even, like, you know, we all go through shit, and I'm the kind of person that likes to be raw and authentic and share that in my music. And, you know, I go through a lot of shit. I have a lot of mental health struggles, so I like to put that in my music. And, you know, that's kind of what you get from me. Like, you know, what happens to me is what you get. You know, it's vulnerability, you know, just being honest. And I think honesty is what makes the best music. And yeah, I did that. That was my first release back as an artist in a long time, and it's doing pretty well. And I think a lot of people I've seen in like TikTok comments and stuff, they're resonating with the message, because the first couple lines of the song is "Scared I'll drink myself to death, still go out every weekend." And like so many people are like, "Oh my God, like I've been there," like, or like everyone takes it in their own way. Like I struggle with addiction, or I'm here in life and I'm not happy. Like I understand what you mean by this. Like everyone, you know, takes it, you know, in their own way. And that's why like I really like doing that kind of stuff, because you get to see that not only are you helping people or making them feel seen, but it's like you also feel seen, because you're like, okay, there's other people out there that are experiencing a similar thing than me, you know? And
yeah, totally.
that's what's cool about, you know, as a writer, I write so many upbeat, fun pop songs that are like less party, but it's like, you know, that's cool. I love that. You know, it's just, there's a time and a place for different things. And as an artist, I'm not the kind of person that is ready to just be like, yeah, like let's have a good time. I like to talk about like very real, raw shit. And it makes me happy that when I put that out, it's perceived by others in helpful ways, and, you know, vice versa, you know?
And it resonates with people. It's like, that's the genuine side of your music. And you do a lot of writing for other people. And so when you do get, let's just say someone sends you a track or an instrumental, how do you determine whether or not this is going to be work for someone else or work for your own, you know, your own music?
So I'm at the point now. So basically Jake and I came in as artists, and, we found success on the publishing side, which is producing and writing. So we had a couple years where we weren't really super focused on that. And then Jake dove back into it and is getting some traction. And now I'm finally at a point where I'm inspired to do my own artist thing. So a lot of the stuff that I am writing is for other people. I think for me, like, I don't ever write anything, so far at least. I've never written anything to pitch that I've ended up taking for myself, just because I like to make super specific music to what I'm going through. But, you know, for Jake, for example, you know, Jake and I write and produce his music ourselves in-house along with Hooli. There's been a few songs of Jake's that we've ended up placing that have come out, you know, because his style of music is very fun, pop. At least, well, Jake has two sides to him. He's gonna put out more like in-depth music and stuff, but the stuff that he's starting with that he enjoys doing right now is like fun pop stuff. It's just dope, cool lyrics, like just good energy. And, you know, a lot of other artists that we've met are like, oh, like this is sick. Like,
right.
Can I have this? And we're like, yeah, we make this shit all the time.
Right.
Like,
this is one of 100 or like one of 1,000 here.
Yeah. So like
we've got 300 songs back in the basement from
literally. I mean,
and
that's the mindset you have to have. It's like, I don't really pitch any of my songs like that, but if an artist wanted a song that I made that I was going to put out for myself, it's like, bro, like I'll make another one. Like you can have it. And it's like, you kind of have to have that mentality, especially on the way up, because it's like, bro, if I write a great song that I'm super excited to release, and then somebody comes along like Bieber and it's like, yo, I want your song, fucking take the song, bro. Of course. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, I'll make another one. It's like, I would love for you to put this out, because not only is it going to be a huge song, but it'll probably be bigger with this artist, X artist, than it would have been with me. And like, I'm not looking at that and getting jealous, because guess what? We wrote and produced the song. So we're eating off the song just as well as you are. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, that's actually a good topic. Like, you know, getting attached to your work. Like, you can't get too attached, because if somebody comes along and they want something that you did, it's like, give it to them. Especially if you're a writer or producer, because guess what? It's like, the artists, a lot of the times, they don't want the shit that you're making for them. They want the shit that you want to keep for yourself, because that's always the best shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's like learning not to get too attached. So it's like, you know, I've never had an experience with my own music where I just pitch it out, but a lot of the Jake stuff Yes, because it's more universal is a good way to put it. Jake makes very universal music, whereas right now where I'm at as an artist, I like to make you hear it's very like depressing.
I mean, I wouldn't describe the sound as depressing.
The sound's not depressing. I guess I'm wording it from my perspective.
Content wise, it is more deep topics. Yeah. Someone might cry if they're listening to it. You might get emotional listening to it.
And I definitely try and make it as universal as possible.
But those feelings are just as universal.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
And a lot of people, when they listen to songs that they really love, it's because they're going through a hardship.
Yeah. The biggest thing in music is being able to relate to the songs, But yeah, it's like we've landed stuff that we've made for Jake. I mean, I'm sure a lot of my stuff would go for other artists. I haven't really like... One, I'm very new to the artist thing again. I'm just diving back into it after taking a couple years just doing the behind the scenes stuff, which I'm excited about. I'm finally in a place in my life where I'm inspired as an artist and I know what I want to do and I know what I want to say, which is a big thing because for a while I wasn't inspired to be an artist.
You're like finding your voice.
Yeah, because it's like, bro, like we came into the industry as artists, like I said. And when at least for me, when you write and produce for so many other artists, it's like you become obsessed with, okay, I want to land the biggest fucking songs. I want to make the most commercial, universal shit. It's like you get so hyper focused on that for a while I was so on that I kind of lost inspiration as an artist myself, and like I didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't know what my sound was. I have a lot of songs in the tuck that I made over the past like 2-3 years. And I mean, they're all dope songs. Like they're songs I can pitch now. Right. But it's like, what I thought I loved 2 years ago, doesn't inspire me now, or like, I don't feel passionate enough to put out as an artist. And like, that's a big thing for me now. Like knowing that I can, have success on either outlet. It's like, if I'm going to do stuff for myself, I want to make the shit that I want to make.
Right.
And like, I'm okay if it isn't as big as the shit that I'm doing for other people, because like, if I'm going to get on a stage and sing it, like I might as well like it. Right. Because there's so much bullshit that comes along in this industry with everything as far as like politics and, all this different shit. So if I'm going to put myself out there as an artist, I want to like the shit that I'm making, and that's what's super important to me. And, like I said, I finally found inspiration again to do my own artist project. Jake's been doing the artist thing again for 2 years, and he's killing it. And the whole time Jake's been like, dude, like just fucking start. Like I promise you, just start, bro. Like I don't know why you're not starting, bro. Like Jake's just on my back, cause like Jake is like, him and I, like we're very similar, but like like Jake. And like, this isn't something I really even say to him a lot, but like something I credit Jake a lot for is he's very optimistic. And like, we both go through like similar shit. And believe me, we both like suffer from some mental health shit to a degree, especially anyone in this industry does. But Jake's usually always able to be so optimistic. And like the whole time he's been like, bro, just, I'm telling you, start putting shit out. And I finally got to a place where I'm ready and I started putting shit out. And he's like, bro, like, look, your music's doing decent and you just started. He's like, now imagine if you stay consistent where it's going to be 2 years from now. He's like, bro, just start doing it, bro. Stop thinking so much, just do it. And so shout out to Jake for that, for sure. Because I mean, I'm definitely back doing the artist stuff. I'm inspired again, like, and I'm enjoying it again, and like I said, I'm in a place where I'm inspired and I know what I want to talk about. And I've lived a lot of life and I've gone through a lot of shit and I'm ready to talk about it,
Well, let's dive into some of those topics. It sounds like you've grown through this past couple of years.
Yeah.
Even building some distance from the previous themes that you might have sung about. So like what is this new phase you're entering and kind of different lifestyle changes you've implemented?
So, I mean, overall, leaving home was a big switch up for me. I was very much a hometown person, I have a very large friend group at home. And for me, my friends are my family. Like I've always been super close to them. Like my friends are an extension of my family. Like, they mean a lot to me. I love being with them as much as I can. And, over the past couple of years, being out on my own and experiencing the industry and being homesick and away from my friends, it's like that changed a lot of shit for me. It's like from an outside perspective, like looking back and like, damn, like life at home was moving on without me. Like my friends were doing things and, you know, I'm kind of starting to feel out of the loop. And actually my first song back was like a year and a half ago before I really like locked in. It was called Home Don't Feel Like Home. And I wrote a song just about like, you know, I've been gone for so long that when I come back to my hometown, it's like, it feels like I'm a visitor. Like my friends are all there, but like I just feel like a piece of me has been removed from there for so long that like the place that I love so much and the place that I grew up in and hold so dearly, like doesn't feel like a permanent thing. Like I feel like I'm on like vacation or visiting when I'm there. And like that was the first song that I was inspired to release before I really got back and locked in. But yeah, man, it's been that. I'm not gonna get too much into details, but there's some relationship stuff that I went through the past year. Just a mixture of everything, man. Because I mean, my friends went to college and they came back home and they had that experience of getting out and leaving the nest. And it's like, I didn't go to college. I locked in with the music stuff, and you know, I left home. I don't want to say a little later in life because I mean, I'm still pretty young, but it's like, you know, a lot changes when you leave where you're from, and especially when you go by yourself. And you know, as somebody who already struggles with mental health to a degree, it's like I just went through a lot of shit, and it changed me as a person. You know, like as much as signing a deal is cool and moving to a new city is cool and dope, it's like I went through a lot of dark shit that a lot of people didn't see. I mean, you know, being away from home, it's lonely. It's like a lot of drinking, bro. Like I was doing a lot of drinking out here, especially, you know, when I went through a breakup, I was drinking a lot. I don't want to like say the wrong thing and, you know, create the wrong image. I was never like someone that was into hard drugs, but I mean, just like smoking a lot of weed or drinking or like shrooms, like it's very like moderate stuff, but I was abusing it for a while, man. Cause it's like, you know, especially like, you know, like I wouldn't even say so much missing home, missing my friends, but when I went through my breakup, it's like I already missed my friends, and now my peace that connected me to home is gone. And it's like now I'm completely like, for me, I felt like for the first time like completely alone. And I have a lot of friends out here, but it's different, bro. It's like even you guys, I mean, we go out a lot. Well, we did go out a lot, like me, you, Jax, Linko, like everyone. It's like I had that peace that was here, but it's like it's never the same as, you know, what you had back at home. And you know, Huli is my roommate and one of my closest friends now, but it's like something just felt like, I don't know, like I just felt lonely. And like
it takes a while to rebuild that. And
and I turned to like a lot of like substance abuse, man. Like just going out and drinking for the wrong reasons. I mean, like on the surface, I mean, you guys see me like we have a good time and go out, but like, I mean, you guys have also seen me like drink and to an extent where I'm like blacking out and falling asleep on the floor and doing whatever bullshit outside. And, you know, it's just a lot of different experiences. And I think, you know, I'm able to talk about that in my music and stuff now. I mean, I'm kind of getting a little like, I'm forgetting like the main question because I'm just like thinking about all of it now and getting kind of sidetracked.
The main question is the main point is your human experience through it. You know?
But nah, man, I mean, leaving home, I mean, I left in 2022. It's 2025 now. I'm like, I'm still me, but I'm a very different version of myself than I was when I left. You know, it's like, you know, it's growth. You know, I went through a lot of shit before the growth, you know, but you know, it's just very different. Like that's how I describe it. Like I've lived a lot of life in these past 3 years, and I've gone through a lot of shit to where I'm a different version of myself than I was when I left home. And the music reflects that, and a lot of my stuff coming out reflects that. Something you and I talked about the other day at Eric's house. I'm newly sober. I quit drinking in January. I just passed 100 days sober. I think today's like 110 days, but yeah, man, I gave it up. Like by the end of last year, I was burnt out mentally, emotionally. I was just in a place where I wasn't doing it for fun anymore. I felt like shit. I was getting caught in episodes of just like weird, like not feeling like myself, like complete like depression, like just week-long episodes where like but drinking induced, where I was just drinking too much and I felt like off, and I was just in a bad place, man. And it was like, you know, I wasn't drinking for fun. And, you know, drinking should be for fun. If you're not drinking for fun, you either need to take a break or drinking's not for you. Right. You know, and I got to a place where I just didn't feel good, bro.
And you had mentioned something like now that you've stopped drinking, it's like, what do I do with all this time?
Yeah,
You used to
in the
spend
song. So that's unreleased. It hasn't come out yet. That's my next song.
Okay,
so
I got the exclusive peek into.
So yeah, man, it's like something that's been big for me in 2025 is that, you know, it's like a new chapter for me. You know, alcohol and substance abuse has been something I struggled with, you know, since I was like 14. So like this is my first time, like, you know, reapproaching life like without alcohol. I mean, I was never really did drugs, but like without alcohol is like the simplest way I'll put it. And yeah, man, it's different. Like mentally, I'm clearer, I'm sharper, like, and like the line you just talked about, like, you know, I used to spend my weekends hungover as fuck, like out of it, like just, I mean, you know how it feels to go out and drink a lot the next day. You feel like shit, and it's like, me, I go out and, you know, between me, Linko, and Jax, we drink a whole bottle before we even go to the bars. It's like, I felt like crap. And it's like, I would sleep all day and then we would go out and do the same thing. It's like, we would start going hard on Friday and then kind of trickle back to life like Sunday night and then get ready for the week again and then do the same thing next weekend, you know? So it's like, you know, not only am I experiencing things differently from a social aspect, but it's like, bro, I have like more time on my hands. It's like on the weekends, I'm waking up at 8, 9 a.m. and like I have the whole day. I don't go out really as much anymore because, you know, it's different being in bars and stuff when you don't drink. You know, at first it's kind of annoying. I'm not going to lie. Like, you know, you don't have as much patience for people being drunk and screaming and being like dumb idiots when you're not drinking. And I'm not saying that as a shot, but it's like, because I was definitely that person. But it's like,
when you don't inebriate yourself, you kind of realize
like, shit, like this isn't fun. Like when, you know, like I don't really enjoy going out like I did when I drank, because it's like, I mean, the main function of a lot of these places is to be drunk. So it's like when you're around and everyone's drunk and fucked up, it's like, yeah, it's fun, but it's like just not the same. You know what I'm saying? I don't really enjoy it, but it's like something we talked about. Like I'm very into working out and stuff. You know, that's something I've always been throughout my life. But
running miles now, I see you. Posting, like,
I'm running like 15, 20 miles a week.
That's amazing.
I'm locked in the gym, and you know, fitness has always been something I loved, but alcohol has always been like the opposite of it. And, you know, it's like I'm someone that has always been super into nutrition and like workout plans and being consistent. But, you know, I would go hard Monday through Friday, and then the weekend I would
undo
put poison in my body and, you know, do dumb shit. So just like now I'm waking up early on the weekends. You know, me and Julio go climbing a lot now. We've gotten rock climbing. That's been like my sober hobby has been like rock climbing and stuff. So like I'm just doing like more like I'm doing good things for myself. I mean, it's like on the weekends, like I'm waking up early. I'm running. Like there's just so much more hours in the day when you're not like, you know, hungover and in bed till 3 p.m. rotting, waiting to go out again that night. You know, it's like, and you know, it sounds crazy to me, like even speaking this out loud, but it's like I didn't know like life other than that. And it's like everyone, like, and some viewers listening may be like, okay, well, it's like just don't drink every weekend. But like I was someone that did drink like every weekend. And it's like now that like I'm taking a look back and it's 10 o'clock on Friday night and like I'm not at a bar, it's like it's different. Like you realize how much time you actually have and how much time, you know, drinking and going out and being hungover and all that shit takes away. And it's like it's different, man. It's like it's an adjustment. You know, I won't sit here and lie and say that being sober has been all like amazing. It's like, you know, like I said the other day, it's like there's definitely crazy highs and crazy lows, you know, when you do allow drinking in your life, but it's like everything is kind of like level now, where there is highs and lows, but like, you know, the highs aren't as high, but the lows also aren't as low. So it's kind of like you're compromising.
But you can build that.
Yeah, you can build the highs up, and then, you know what I'm saying?
It's not so volatile.
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, it's been an adjustment, especially as someone that, you know, drinking has been a big part of my life. And I mean, same thing with a lot of other people in their 20s. I mean, that's just what you do in your 20s a lot of the time. You just drink.
It's kind of part of culture, society, American culture, college culture, whether you're, you know, just new to the city. How do you meet friends? You go out and drink.
Yeah, exactly.
That kind of thing.
So, you know, like that's been a habit of mine for the past however many years, and taking that away, it's like I'm experiencing, you know, life differently. And, you know, like mental health is still very much a real thing. Like quitting drinking isn't going to cure depression or cure anxiety, but it definitely makes it more manageable. And so you can really sit there and identify where these things are coming from. If you're somebody that, you know, needs to take medication, guess what? Like alcohol fucking ruins that.
Right.
Like if you're trying to take an antidepressant and then you're going to drink on the weekend, it's like, it's going to fuck up the chemicals in your brain, and that medicine's not going to work for a little bit.
Or it's going to do worse.
Yeah. Or it could do worse. Yeah. And that's another crazy thing too. I didn't even think about, but it's like, yeah, it's like mental health wise, like you still go through shit, but you know, when you give up, because alcohol is poison. And I don't want to sit here and preach like I'm fucking David Goggins or some shit. Like I'm not against drinking. And I think if you can drink and have a healthy relationship, fucking do it. I just have recognized, you know, in the past few months that I'm not one of those people that can do that. And that's why I gave it up. But no, if you can fucking go out and enjoy yourself on the weekend and drink, fucking do it. Like I wish I could do that. It just, I'm not like, and even now, like saying this out loud, I'm realizing growth in myself. I'm just not a person that can do that in a healthy manner. I have a very unhealthy relationship with anything that involves not being sober, whether it's weed or drinking or what I decide to do when I'm drunk. It's like, I'm not the guy that can do that in a healthy manner. So it's like, you know, I'm really taking time to, you know, cause fix my mental health, you know, and do it in like a way that's long-term, because, you know, I'm someone, I'll speak out on it. I'm someone that takes medication for different things, since I'm very young, you know, and I make short-term progress. I go to therapy, I do this and that. I make progress, and then, you know, the drinking has always been like a back burner where I get drunk and I fuck up, or I stop taking my medicine, or my medicine isn't working because I'm allowing so much alcohol in my life. It's like, I think for the first time in my life, I'm allowing myself to really like figure out like where I'm at with mental health, and really like make like long-term like progress with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's something I've never been able to do with drinking, you know?
Well, I'm super proud of you.
Thank you, man.
Breaching 100 days sober, it's not easy.
Let's go.
Especially, you know, going out, still having things with friends, you know, like going to a bachelor party or something.
Yeah, I was actually just about to bring that up.
Right. It must be it's like so tempting to just like slip back up. So I'll say I'm proud of you for that change.
Thank you, man.
A lot of people I've been talking to have also been going through their own journeys through sobriety, and it's like, this is, being human isn't being, you know, intoxicated. Being human is being present. And so what have you learned kind of like just throughout your whole experience, not only as a songwriter, just as a person, what does being human mean to you?
That's a fucking great question. I don't know if I have the right answer, but I'm going to try and give a good answer. I don't know. I think, actually, I have a tattoo right here. I don't know if the camera can see it.
Dude.
It says human.
That's crazy.
And I think I got it with a similar question in mind. Like, for me, like, and I know Jake's going to see this clip, because this is definitely one of those clippable things. Human is about balance, I think. And being human is about allowing yourself to be real and feel things and experiencing different things, and then learning how to take all those different aspects of life and balance it. Being human is like, you know, allowing yourself to feel things and, you know, be honest with things. You know, it's a whole bunch of stuff, but I don't know. This is a confusing question. It's like, I know what I want to say, but it's such like an abstract question. Being human, just living. I guess that's the easy way to put it, like experiencing things, and then figuring out what is for you and what isn't. And then taking it even a step further back and seeing that, you know, the things that aren't for you could be for other people, and learning how to respect that, you know, for other people and stuff like that, you know, like.
The beautiful thing is everyone's answer is unique to their own human experience.
That's a tough fucking question.
There's no wrong answer. There's no like fill in, you know, there's no multiple choice answer. That's correct there. What was the story behind the tattoos? And you got a few of them. Not everybody I have on has tattoos. So yeah, tell me a little bit about some of the tattoos you got.
So I like to try and make everything I get kind of mean something to me. So the human tattoo was something I got when I was like 21, around there. And to me, it was just like, at the time, you know, I was trying to figure out balance in life. And I was like, you know, I want to get this as a reminder that, like, you know, throughout life, you know, when I'm trying new things and I'm experiencing things and I'm, you know, being a human and dealing with mental health, it's like, for me, just remember to look down and be like, you know, we are human and we're allowed to feel and we're allowed to fuck up. and we're allowed to learn from our mistakes. And it's like, I feel like that's what that means for me, like knowing that being human comes with a lot of negative things, but it doesn't necessarily mean they're always bad. They're learning experiences, I got this one. This is a cool little one I have. It says fall down, get up. And it's like a line with 2 arrows that goes around my arm.
That's awesome.
And that kind of ties in with the human thing. It's like the cycle of life. Like you're going to have, times where you're down fucking bad. I've definitely been there. And you're going to have times where you feel like you're in the stratosphere. And it's like, that's life. It's just learning how to move through those moments, because you're going to hit a lot of rock bottoms and you're going to hit a lot of highs. It's like, it comes around and it's the cycle of life.
It keeps going.
And then this one right here is 1943, which is the name of me and Jake's LLC.
Cool.
And that is the year that our grandfather was born. He passed away in 2015. Rest in peace, P-Pop. He was definitely a big figure in my life. And, when we started the company in music, we felt right to name it after him. And, we both got a matching one. I have mine here. I think Jake has his like right here. But yeah, that's what that one is.
That's awesome.
And I can start taking off my shirt and my pants and talking about the other ones.
Shows
but
the rest of your personality. No, just kidding.
But no, I mean the other ones aren't as significant to me. And I think like as an artistic person, I do want to get more artwork done. And I'm making it a goal that everything I get, means something, to me. I don't just want to get like a fucking
Bart
a
Simpson
cheetah or like Bart Simpson. Yeah, like it has to I have to justify getting it,
Right. Well, dude, I think that's awesome. You shared your art in all aspects. Do you have any favorite memories from Atlanta that you can, kind of reflect on if these are the last few months that you'll be here living here as a resident?
That's a good question too, man. You're good at this shit, man. you got a knack for it. Some of my favorite memories honestly have been in this house.
Really?
I mean, during its prime, like me, Jax, Linko, Jacoby, like all the boys, like going out, like just having a good time, like just drinking. I mean, fuck,
I'm 100 days sober, my best time
that's
was
such
drinking.
a thing. When I was drinking in a healthy manner for whatever short time period I was able to do that for, just like having a good time, like, like working on music at LVRN, just vibing. Like I feel like we have so many good memories in this house, like working on music or just kicking it or going out to like the bars and stuff in there. Like that was pretty much all 2024. And that was definitely like a very fun time in my life. Like, for the first time I had like a solid friend group in Atlanta for the first time, like that was like the first thing that I felt away from home, like a solid friend group. And it was dope, man. We were all just having a good time and we were being creative and having fun and, just being a bunch of guys in their 20s living in Atlanta, that and still to this day, this is very early on, but when we first started coming to Atlanta, me, Jake, and Woe used to always rent a car and we would work in the studio to probably 1, 2 a.m. in the morning, and every night we would drive back on. This is bad. I've been here for 2.5 years and I don't know what the highway's called.
85, 75.
Whatever you want to fucking call it. But we'd be on the highway going back to the Airbnb at night, leaving the studios and just seeing all the buildings lit up and listening back to whatever songs we made that day in the studio and just being shit. We're fucking doing it. We're really doing some shit. And it would just be me, Jake, and Woe in the car, just vibing out, driving, looking
really
at the lights.
Living the dream.
Yeah, I think that and then what 2024 was are definitely some of my favorite memories out here for sure. I'm definitely gonna miss it. It is same thing as I said about the Grammys. It's definitely very bittersweet leaving Atlanta because this is the first home away from home that I've had, and I experienced my first real success here. But at the same time, I went through a lot of shit here, and not all of it was pretty. And I feel like where I'm at now in life, it's time for the next step, and that's what LA I feel like is, and I'm excited to get out and do it. A little nervous, but I'm comfortable in Atlanta, man.
Well,
and
dude,
comfortability kills, man. It's time to go out and it's fucking take over this shit and go to LA and make new memories and do more. I can't
wait to see what you do over there. I guess any last words that you might have to somebody who might just be starting, or looking back on if you could have talked to yourself before you moved out. what would you kind of say?
Damn, another great question. If I could give any advice to people trying to do this as a career, and even to my younger self, just fucking do it and keep going and work and work and work. And those moments that break you when people say you're not good, or people talk shit on you, or people don't understand the vision, ignore that and just keep going, because no one's going to understand until everyone understands. And the best way to do it is just work. Just keep doing it. And like, you know, it's the fucked up moments where you want to quit that separate the ones that make it and the ones that don't. This shit's going to test you. Anything in life's going to test you. But like, especially this industry, it's like, you're going to have moments where you're like, I want to give up. This isn't working. Like, what the fuck am I doing? It's like staying true to your dream in those moments and persevering. Like, there's no shortcuts. There's no special recipe or secret route. The best thing you can do is just keep working, bro.
Well, man, you keep up the good work. I know you've been putting a lot in.
Thank you, bro.
Shout out to the Krumm Club. You guys
Let's go. Krumm merch. Club. Link in our bios on the Instagram. You can find me at Jared Krumm, Jared Krumm on Instagram. When does this come out, this episode? Do you know yet?
A couple weeks from now.
All right. Well, I should have another song out. The link will be in my bio on there. You can find it there. Yeah.
Go check his music out on Spotify. Go look for him in the Billboards. Look for him on the future Grammy nominations.
Let's go, man. We're coming, bro. LA's next, man. LA's next.
Go conquer. Go live the dream. Keep living the dream, bro. And thanks for coming here.
Thank you for having me, bro. I appreciate it.
Yeah, bro. Thanks for coming to the Free World Show. And let's get it, bro.
This is where I want to do something fucked up. Let's end it right here.
All right, now you can show everyone your tattoos. No, just